2018 12th annual Key Biscayne Rib-Off. Remember those early years, man?
Oh my God, 3 years in the Flick House?
Well, that didn't last long.
No, after he jumped in the pool with his phone.
Yeah, and Trish was like, that's it, you
Yeah.
guys are out of here. Then we ended up at Sharp's house.
Yep, lasted a year there.
Yeah, Kara was like,
Then at the Bailey's house,
Wow,
right?
the Bailey's house. I mean, that was
Yeah.
something special.
That was a good one.
That was our one and only waterfront rib-off. Unfortunately, they sold that house.
Yes, and then we got bounced to the parking lot at Ibis.
And then 2 years at Alonso's. Those were the lost years.
Yes, they were. They were. We've come a long way since the houses. I mean, it came to the point where we couldn't even find a house to have it at.
I mean, and look at us now, man. We're at the Key Biscayne Yacht Club. Finally found a home.
I know, a permanent home. And this is a great, great venue.
This is as good as it gets, and we're here tonight at the Key Biscayne Yacht Club, the Thursday before the Saturday of the rib-off. And what's going on here tonight, Bill?
So what's going to happen is there's a team meeting, all mandatory team meeting where all the rules are reviewed, and each person, each team picks one of their rib-off turn-in times. So the time when they turn their ribs in will be given tonight. In addition, they pick up their ribs as well to take with them home tonight.
It's very important that they're here tonight because they must pick up rib-off sanctioned ribs. You cannot go to Winn-Dixie and buy your own ribs. We know there was some controversy the first year on that.
There was. People had beef ribs, pork ribs, and it wasn't a level playing field. But this year, we're going to have everything on the same playing field, same ribs, same rules.
So I think we're going to come in here. We're going to check out the party, and we're going to interview the past champions and see what they have to, how they want to reminisce, and talk a little bit about where this began and how it's progressed and how it's moved through. And certainly, we call our dear brother Bob Kemper, which is what we're all remembering tonight and through the weekend.
So let's go ahead and check it out, check out the meeting, and the Champions Cocktail coming right up.
All right, let's go. Come on.
Are we starting now? Because I'd like everybody to raise their right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So you got it?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Here we are, 2018 Key Biscayne Rib-Off. We are now among greatness. I mean, this is the circle of past champions. So lucky to have them here. And we're going to ask them some questions. We're going to get a little history on this thing and see sort of where it came from, where it went through, and where we are today. But we're going to start with where it all began. This thing began as a backyard cook-off, and today it has evolved into a tremendous Key Biscayne event. It's called the Bob Kemper Key Biscayne Rib-Off Classic.
Go Irish.
And York, I wanted to start with you, man, because Bob and you and TJ, Scott, you guys were founding members of this thing, and Bob's not with us anymore, at least physically. But I wanted to ask you what this meant to Bob. What does this thing mean? What does it symbolize today? And how do you think Bob's feeling right now?
Well, that's a great question. I think the answer to that question, Manny, is that this was a Key Biscayne moment for Bob. The rib-off was a distillation of everything that Key Biscayne was to him, boiled down to one event. We started this party years ago in my backyard. It was just completely innocuous conversation. We're talking about the wine, how good was the side dish, and then we talked about the ribs, and next thing you know, I had a disagreement with Bob, and he thought his ribs were better, and I put my back up against the wall. I said, Bob, your ribs are good, but I think mine were a little bit better, and I'm not sure, Scott, you may have been there, TJ may have been there, I'm not sure what, but Scott was there, and he thought his ribs were the best, and then it was actually Rosa Kemper who said, you know what? You guys should settle this like fair and square and have a rib.
We didn't get him involved.
Davey was not there at the moment, but I'm sure everyone was thinking about that. Perhaps Davey come here and break the tie. But any event, we thought the idea would be to have a community cooking event to decide once and for all whose ribs were the best, and that's how it started. And what it meant to Bob was, I think the world, and we're just happy to do this in his memory. So I'm not sure I answered your question, but here's a Bob.
Where it all begins, where it ends right here. It's Bob Kemper.
The Bob.
Would you mind passing that mic over to Mike Davey, please? Because that guy wants some screen time right now. Mike Davey was the inaugural winner of the Key Biscayne Rib-Off. Mike Davey was really the reason why the rules came into play. Is because Mike, you won the first year.
I didn't win the first. Thank you for Manny for pointing out that I won the first year. Let's move on.
With your win, there's an asterisk associated with it, and it has carried on for many years. In fact, I think the very next year, the second year, when they were talking, when they placed the teams on their locations in Flick's backyard, they placed you almost in the side yard, almost like inside the neighbor's property line. You were barely part of that event.
I believe actually they tried to put me in the neighbor's yard, and the neighbor actually kicked me out. Is what happened.
Questions are simple. How has it gone from you since 2007? How's it gone for you? And what motivates you to get back to that place you were at 20?
Well, I'll tell you, Manny, it's a fair question. I think there's been a couple of shenanigans along the way. We're not going to point any fingers because we have thumbs, but you know there's certain individuals here who seem to shenanigans. Yes, you're not. You're German. The Irish, but we won't go there right now. But we've had some fun along the way. Last year we came in third, despite the fact that it wasn't announced by York Flick. Yeah, sir.
What motivates you going forward?
Well, it's just I have yet to set a house on fire or a tent. I have yet to lose a cell phone in the pool, 2 as a matter of fact. Those are the things that keep spurring me back, bringing me back. The teammates that I have, the camaraderie that we've created. And
What's the name of your team again?
we are the Village People now.
Oh, I thought you were Team Davy.
We were Team Davy, but what we did was we evolved. And what I realized was it's more about the community and not just about Team Davy. Because I was on my own in those bushes for those years. But I've worked beyond that. And I've come out of the bushes.
For the record, that wasn't in Bear Cut, so everything is...
Oh, wow. We're going dark here, aren't we?
Not yet. Speaking of going dark, why don't you hand the mic over there to your left, and we'll talk to this team ribbed for her pleasure.
I don't even want to touch that.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Will. You guys broke through in 2016 after placing second in 2015. Right. But regardless of that, people want to know, how did you guys pick that wonderful name?
I think that was a joint effort, and we just wanted to have ribs in the name, and we really couldn't come up with anything any better than that, honestly.
And girls like ribs.
Girls like ribs, definitely. Let's move on to the Smokers, the 2012 champion, and Matt Branson's here. Matt, do you remember where the event was held in 2012?
Yeah, that year it was. Yeah, I do. Barely. Yeah, we were out behind the Starbucks behind the keyhole. That was that year.
Is there any truth to the rumor that Gus, your team captain, camped out the Ibis for 3 days in a row to get an unfair advantage in the judging?
Well, I mean that's true most months that Gus is, But yes, I think that's true. I think that's true. He's a fierce competitor. He's riding horses right now with his family. Otherwise, he'd be here to throw down.
Yeah. So he's not going to be here. Who's team captain this year?
Mitchell Kiefer is our team captain, and he seems to be able. He paid the whole fee and didn't ask me for any money, so that's a good sign.
Okay, Three Little Pigs. Enrique, you guys won last year. Great job. What's it going to take to repeat this year?
Probably another donation to Dartmouth. I don't know how that worked, but somehow it did, and it worked. Want to point out that Three Little Pigs is the only Key Biscayne Grand Barbecue champion who has won the Lechonazo and Rib Off in the same year. Only team. Only team. Here. Hey, maybe you need a donation to the Seabell Foundation to win.
Scott, 6 out of 10, top 3 appearances, but you only broke through once in 2013. Always the bridesmaid, only the bride once. What's it going to take to break through this year?
I appreciate the fact that you've asked this question. This year, TJ and I have devised a very intricate strategy. I'm not going to be drinking caipirinhas. And only beer.
Wow. That's a good tactic. What time are those beers starting, Scott?
We usually start around 8 a.m.
On Friday.
Rob Bailey, which was the inaugural Team Safari. Rob, where was your victory and which year? Do you recall?
It was 4 years ago. I took first, and then I had an off year, then I went to third, and then I went to second last year. So a little consistency there. I also had what people have told me is one of the nicer venues in the history of the Rib-Off a long while ago, and we certainly missed that. I'm also flanked by 2 former members who were with my team and then were basically traitors who went out and formed teams on their own, stole my recipe, and then won the next year. So.
Dr. Rob Bailey is almost the Bill Walsh of the rib cooking. So he's got his whole branch of assistant coaches, so to speak, who have gone off and won the big game themselves. But Rob, let's go back to 2011 when you hosted the event at your house on Harvard Drive. That was, I think, the peak of what we call the golden years of the Rib-Off. That was Bob Kemper's last event, I think, and that was our only waterfront event. I think Billy brought his boat back down right there to the
Billy
canal.
had his boat there. We had Lou came in with his band, was playing right on the boat.
I'll tell you, Bob, the day you sold that house was one of the saddest days for me as well.
Well, I've been told that we're showing up there again this year. Even though no one lives there, we know, but we're just going to show up.
Figured, what are they going to do to us?
Right, exactly.
Back to Team Safari. Who's cooking with you this year?
Louisa. Last year, she and her daughters helped me, and we took second place. So, looking forward to that.
Great. Over to your left, we have Billy Pesh. Billy was
Raging Keepers Cages.
Raging Keepers Cages was the team that won. Which year was that, Billy?
Well,
2008.
I had first year was Team Asterisk, which should have been our team.
Okay, so in 2007, you got second place. Let's
That
just
is
call
correct.
it what it is. Mike Davey was the winner that year. Team Davey, we've established that. It's on the T-shirt, so it counts.
Yes,
And the following year, you won.
that is correct.
At the Flick Home.
The Flick Home, square up, fair cooking, good competition, no shenanigans.
And your partner that year was?
Mike Shanigan. Shanigan. That's about right. That is correct. And I don't remember who the third person was. We picked him off of the street.
That's right. So, Billy, you're not cooking this year, unfortunately for all of us, but you
No,
will be.
next year I'll be back. This year is my daughter's last year of high school, and it's about my daughter. So next year I'm a free man. So I'll be back.
Congratulations. Respect to Caroline. And so, of course, in 2015, which was probably one of the greatest years of the Rib-Off, the year that the Smoke Trail won the big event. It was the first year at the yacht
Media
club.
bias.
It was turtles.
Fake news.
I love turtles. It was the first year held at what is now the permanent home of the Rib-Off, Biscayne Yacht Club. We have Craig Hardy, captain of Team Smoke Trail. I was but just a Sherpa on that team, and I'm happy to be part of that team again this year. And Craig, what do we got going this year?
Well, we got the same great group coming out. We got Manny, we got Court Vernon, we got Bobby Williams, which is a firefighter with me that helps me cook at the station. So we got a great recipe coming. So looking forward to pulling it off in a great year. Something we definitely look forward to this year, and every year this great event. So Bob Kemper, and let's have a great turnout, and hopefully it's good weather.
Thank you very much. Bob Kemper.
Just one last question. My daughter happens to be here, and she wanted to ask Manny York a question. Why don't you ask that question?
All right, Mike, hand to the mic.
The Davis don't cheat!
Hey!
Of course they do.
Whoa!
Cook in the shadows, right, baby?
You gotta prep your witnesses better. I'm sorry,
right.
it wasn't more of a question, it was more of a statement.
Definitely a statement.
We're gonna put an asterisk by that question, and we will look forward to seeing everybody on Saturday and for many years to come. In memory of Bob Kemper, it keeps Biscayne Rib-Off. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers. Salud. Cheers. Cheers, boys and girls.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? Neighbor, I'm glad to be with you. Television neighbor today.
This is a charity event, all right? So the idea is, this is all for the late and great Dr. Bob Kemper. So through the generosity of the Key Biscayne Foundation, $5 of every ticket sale will go to the Bob Kemper Award, which is an award that the foundation has organized through the Florida International University Med School, as well as 100% of the proceeds from the t-shirts and the mugs go to that. So judge on 3 aspects of your ribs: taste, texture, and appearance. What does that mean, taste, texture, and appearance? Understand that we're borrowing these rules from Kansas City Barbecue Society rules, so they're not out of the hat, out of the blue. This is something that people use across the country for judging barbecue. Appearance. People judge by their eyes first, they eat with their eyes. Is your rib appealing to the judges? Nothing can go in the box that you're given other than your rib. No sides, no garnish, no notes about how good your ribs are, nothing. Just your rib. You are submitting only 1 rib per judge. There'll be 3 judges, so 1 rib per judge. Got it? The second criteria is texture. Is it appealing to the taste? If it's too sloppy and falls off the bone, chances are you're not getting a grade. If it's chewy and hard to take a bite out of, chances are you're not getting a grade. If you take a nice clean bite out of the rib, that's probably what the judge is looking for. Pay attention to that, texture. And then taste, I mean, that's all relative, right? You really know about taste, but the judge will be looking for certain flavor profiles. They'll be looking for, does the rub match the sauce? The flavors contrast? Do they complement each other? Appearance, texture, and taste. Each category being judged equally. Use gloves when you can to serve food and keep it safe. Most importantly, have a good time. I think I covered all the bases. What about York? Wait, what else? There is a side dish. Who's that?
I don't know.
Cute.
Me.
All right, no, seriously. Everyone is encouraged to make a side dish. A side dish is something you serve to people who are coming around your stations. A side dish is something you're serving to your fellow competitors. But this side dish will not be judged. The important providing a tailored answer is no. The question is, will anything you need for the competition to bring in and also bring out? Any other questions? Right? Yes, you should bring your own trash bag, or at least a trash bag. Hairnets. If your hair exceeds the color,
Hairnets.
perhaps.
No tape. If I just reactivate it, no tape.
No tape, bring your own.
Cash.
Sir, go ahead. Everyone's nice and gets 6 racks of ribs. You got to produce 3 for the 3 judges. That's it. The idea is we expect that out of the 6 racks, 1 rack will be consumed by your team for tasting and passing out to your fellow competitors. And for the judges, and the other 5 racks, ideally, are for the people who are coming to the party and paying $30 or whatever it is to get in. Understand?
Hey, do you remember that time we were in your backyard and I smoked the hell out of you? The billowing smoke that was coming.
He also set my house on fire.
Billowing. That was the next year over at Gus's. Mike Davey, the Mike Davey rule. Little people know because everyone always like the Mike Davey rule. The Mike Davey rule. Year 1 when Mike Davey won the rib-off. Trish's backyard. That's when he won the rib-off. Little people know that Weber, Kemper, and I had a pork baby back rib, and it was the first year, but I got beef ribs too. So I served the pork baby back and the beef rib. I served a couple of them. Oh, DQ. Kemper comes up and DQs me to disqualify. I'm out. And then the Davey rule was that year. There was a controversial first year of the rib-off. I wish everyone here luck. We have 20 teams this year. 2-0. Good luck, everyone.
As you come up to get your number, I will give you the map of where your station is going to be. If you do not like it, too bad. Wait for her pleasure.
I'll get it for them.
Andy, don't look. And then show me only, please. All right, this is kind of prejudicial, but it's TJ Sound Machine. Pick a good time. Oh, I don't have to open up that high for him. I say, order in which you...
Hold it higher.
I hope all of this is on tape.
Do we have a deal? By the way, if we're thinking that... Do we have a deal? Gentlemen.
That is the Village People! Shenanigans! Yes. Next up, although... Doc Bailey, are you here?
Trojan!
For those of you that I forgot to give a map, as you come get them later. Next up, Team Smokers. Woo! Grab the flag and show it to me. She got my spot.
Safari!
Next up, Weather.
That radio!
Team McLovin. Team McLovin. Sally, the Redouts are next. Sally. I have Todd, your team. The BB Cubans, something like that. I guess I better figure this out before Saturday. PIG. That's the best name. All right, back to the bone. Next up, Team Smoke Trail.
Yes, sir! Hey, be careful, this team right here. Be careful.
Edition of Beach City Barbecue.
Three Little Pigs, Rip for a Pleasure, Team Baby. Okay.
This is my first time in the rib off. I put together a team. We're the Ribettes, and we're gonna kick Mike Davies' butt, and we're gonna kick Tom Weber's butt. Oh yeah, Chris, work it.
Yeah. Yum, 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 yum.